How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, maybe it was the market conditions, even though it was green today. Well, you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. So here it comes. Where should you go in the room if you're feeling cold? In the corner. They're usually 90 degrees. Not too bad, right? But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN. But before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, just to let you know, we have timestamps down below in the description. So the first thing we're going to be going over some updates from Ocugen and as well as from Bharat Biotech. We want to know what's going on both ends because like the CEO was saying in that earnings call, hey, he said he's waiting on Bharat, so we need to figure out what's going on with Bharat. Then the second thing we're going to be going over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. Is it looking bullish or is it looking bearish? These are things that we really do need to know. And then after that, we're going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. Is there any short squeeze potential? If there is short squeeze potential, then we could see some strong moves in overall price action. Are institutions actually loading the boat? We had a green day today. Does that mean that institutions are starting to buy up some more because they see some upside? Hey, well, we're going to be figuring that out. And then we're going to be also taking a look at the order flow distribution. And when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. I want to make sure I give you a lot of value in all my videos, and that's why you're getting it. So for the first update, we're going to be looking at Ocugen's Twitter page. Craig Snyder, CEO of Indigo Global Corporation, suggests the Biden administration initiate a massive vaccine diplomacy to purchase various vaccines, including Covaxin, to vaccinate the majority of humanity globally to control the pandemic. You could also see this on their direct website and read a little bit more info on this. So definitely putting the pressure on Biden is what we want to see because we want to get an update. We want to know, hey, Biden, we already know as far as the younger age groups, we know the current vaccines that are available right now, we can't use them on them. And we already know that Bharat Biotech is testing between the ages of 2 to 18. So Covaxin definitely has some room that it can help the United States with the pandemic as well as for the rest of the world. So that's one update that we wanted to go over and I wanted to share with you. On to the second one. So with the next update, this is actually one of the co-founders of Bharat Biotech, and here's an update that I feel that everyone needs to know about. Covaxin dispatched. 18 states have been covered, though, in smaller shipments. So they haven't been able to actually put out a lot or have big shipments. Quite disheartening to the teams to hear. Some states complaining about our intentions, which we've spoken about on the channel. 50 of our employees are off work due to COVID, yet we continue to work under pandemic lockdowns 24/7 for you, India. So taking this into consideration, we know that they are strained. So just knowing that this could have some issues in regards to overall manufacturing and the amount of Covaxin they could actually get out into the public in India. Also, you can see here, you can see all the cities that they're trying to make sure that they're trying to get them vaccinated. You'll see that up on your screen when I put up the screenshot. But here comes the next tweet, which came out most recently. So it says, Covaxin sent to Kerala and Uttaran. Thanks for the concern. Many offered to help. Our work is highly stringent, real-time, and technical. No work from home. All our employees will be taken care of, won't deter us from our mission. Let's be thankful, helpful, and hopeful always. So take into consideration what this tweet is saying. Hey, there definitely has been some inquiries. Can you work from home? No, the work is extremely technical. They need to be in the facility in order to make sure that they're staying within protocols and they're making sure Covaxin is going to be produced at the rate it's supposed to be produced at. And also making sure they can maintain that efficacy, that quality, and so forth. And that's one of the things I want you guys to understand. So what we could see here, we know that the demand is there for Covaxin. We know Biden definitely can benefit from Covaxin as well. But we also do know from the CEO from Ocugen, he said, we are waiting on Bharat Biotech. So if they are strained and they have a lot of commitments, then there's definitely can be possibly more delays. And that's one thing that I want you guys to understand. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN, which ended up closing the day at $8.75, being up 6.32% on the day. On the low, it tested $8.01, and then on the high, testing $8.80. So one of the things we want to take a look at right away is OCGN was able to hold up this $8 level of support. We talked about this yesterday, and it was actually great to see. But also, let's take a look at our indicators. Is it looking bearish or is it looking bullish? So if we take a look at the 100-day, it's well below that. It's also below our 200-day, but do keep in mind, it's right in line with our 21-day EMA. So in regards to next week, I want to see some more strength. So what does that mean? I want to see it getting back to that $9 area of support, which we've spoken about on this channel as well, where we know OCGN can hold up. Of course, this is going to be pending on news. So if we get any news or any sort of updates, we can see that strong move and definitely getting back to a 10, 11, 12, and so forth, especially with the EUA. But also do keep in mind, if we're not getting any news, but the market, hey, is still moving and it's still looking green, I expect OCGN to be able to hold up at least $9. We know they did the direct offering also at $10. And also just looking at $10, this is a psychological level, so it is going to be serving as the area of resistance. Once we're able to actually get past this, then I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the OCGN reclaim back here to the 100-day around this $10.80 level, making that move to 11. If we take a look down below at the RSI right now, currently it is around 45, so it's just under fair value. But we know they did the direct offering at 10, so I feel like anything below that, you're definitely setting yourself up, especially if things go through. But again, this is pending on these particular catalysts. All right, so what I'm going to be looking for next week is OCGN reclaiming that 9, building up some support, and also getting some more updates and some news from Bharat Biotech and as well as Ocugen. So we're on fintel.io. We're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership for OCGN as well as the short interest information. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as we can see, as of the 14th today, institutions have been opening positions. So what does this mean? This shows some bullish behavior overall in general. We also see some puts here, and that just means that these funds are actually hedging on their bets. Another thing to also take advantage of is also we have DC Investment Management going in with just over 35,000 shares. We also have Bank of America Corp going in with just over 41,000 shares. XTX going in with just over 14,000. We have BDO Wealth Advisors going in with 1,000. Do keep in mind we also had the Vanguard Group, one of the names most notable, actually ended up taking out of their position by 10%, and we also have Credit Suisse coming out of their position by almost 91%. So we also got to take into consideration when we go back to Vanguard, they do own a good amount of shares at 8.1 million shares. So the fact that they got rid of 10% is really not that much. So as we take a look at the short volume ratio here, the short volume ratio stands at 33%. So there's definitely some short squeeze potential here, and this was as of close from yesterday. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it stands at 450,000, which was just updated. And if we take a look at the short ball free rate, it's at 4.08%, which was just updated as well. Taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio, hey, we saw that yesterday it was at 19, right? And the fact that now it's jumped all the way to 32, once we get some news or a catalyst or some sort of an update, especially with the EUA and so forth, this stock will definitely have some strong movements in price action. That's one of the things I want you guys to really understand. And with the short volume ratio being this high, I can't wait for that to actually happen. It's going to be fun. So let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we see what it looks like for today. We have inflow at 80 and we had outflow at 92. But one thing to understand and take a look at, as far as large scale buying, we had 2, medium, we had 55, small, we had 22. When we take a look at the outflow though, on the small end, we have 24, on the medium end, we have 68, but we have 0 on the large in regards to selling. So what does this mean? This means we definitely had some institutions who were selling, as well as retail traders or investors that were selling out of their positions. But what really matters is on the buy side, we had 2 large orders. So that's one thing that we need to take a look at. And that's why when we look at large scale orders in the last 5 days, and we take into consideration today, as of May the 14th, we had 2,096. So taking this all into consideration here, institutions are loading up on the dip for OCGN. But at the same time, we also have retail investors who are also selling out, and also having a small number of institutions who are selling out as well. So just using this information to our advantage gives us an idea on the overall market sentiment for the OCGN stock. Now let's get into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm definitely looking forward to next week. The CEO said, hey, you'll hear an update from us in the coming weeks. So we have 1 week that's out of the way. We have next week that is coming. So any news or any big time catalyst will send this stock price to the moon. You know, I had to say that. So the fact that it was able to actually hold up that $8 level of support today was really good to see. We also got to take in consideration the market conditions. We had a great green day. A lot of stocks were up, and that's why I wasn't too surprised that OCGN was able to show some strong price action. But we do need to understand, the more things get delayed or we're not hearing any news, of course investors are going to get impatient. Anyone who's in this for a swing or a momentum play, like myself, again, you have to be patient as well. And just know they did a direct offering at $10. So there's no surprise why we have institutions who are loading and taking advantage of this. So overall, in general, hey, we just got to wait and see what happens next week. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and we'll be talking real soon.